Welcome to today's tutorial. This is Emerald Signatures. Today we're going to be making an infinity dress. Just like you're seeing in the thumbnail. So this is my fabric. I'll be needing at least 2.5 yards of fabric, which is what I have here, but you can get more, just I don't want too much volume. This is my pattern master. You can get a ruler, my tape, my scissors, and of course my chalk. For the measurement, the entire length of this dress is 37 inches. So I'll be taking out the upper part because I want to cut the flare area first. The upper part, which is 13 inches, 2 inches for the waistband. That is 37 minus 13 inches. 37 minus 13 inches will give me about 24 inches. Then minus the 2 inch, that is that 13 inches from the shoulder to the under bust. Then the 2 inches for the waistband, which will be about 22 inches. So our length of our flare will be 22 inches. Then I'll be adding 1 inch for the folding allowance, which is now 23 inches. So I'll be cutting my flare at about 23 inches. Alright, so cutting the flare, I fold this in a bias form. That is, I fold the rectangular into two, then I fold it as a bias across. I don't know if you understand it. Okay, maybe sometime later I'll be making a tutorial, a proper detailed tutorial on how to cut different type of flares, but this in particular is a 180-degree flare. So I'll be placing my tape at the tip of the fabric here and measuring my waist circumference. That is what I did to get my waist circumference. Is I divided my waist circumference by 3.14, which is half of a full circle. 3.14. Then I got the circumference I'll be using to add to my length. The full length of this dress, of this flare, should be 23 inches. So from here I'll be marking it to this point, which is 9 inches. So I'll just be marking the 9 inches all around. All around. Now after getting my waist point, from the waist point I'll be marking my length of the dress, of the flare, which is 23 inches. I'll be marking it here. Yes, 23 inches. .23 inches, and I'll connect the lines just like so. Yes, so this is my flare. I'll cut this out now. Now go ahead to cut this upper part also. Now I'll be notching this part because this will be my waist area, the two waist area. This open part will be my center back, while this part will be my center front, and that is it for the flare. Now we'll go to cutting the upper part of this dress. Now for the waistband of this fabric, I went ahead to cut out this. So this is the circumference of my waist measurement. This is about 29 inches. So my waist circumference is 27 inches. So I'm going to be using 1 inch to fold at this side and the other inch at this side so that the skirt hook can stay. I went ahead to cut 2 of this because I want to use the fabric to turn the fabric. I don't want to use a lining for this. So that is that. Now for the upper part of this dress, which is the sleeve and the upper bust of this dress, I cut out this piece of fabric which is measuring about 12 inches. Yes, so I'll be using my front measurement, that is half of my bust measurement, which is 13.5 inches. I'll divide 13.5 inches into 2 because I'm going to be having 2 pieces. And that gives me 6.75. That's 6 3/4. So I'll just make it 7 inches. That's what I'm supposed to use to cut this out. But I'll be adding 1 inch to fold the 2 sides in. So I'll make it 8 inches. That's where I'm supposed to stop. But the remaining inches, I'll be using it to make pleats at the underbust area for it to be fuller. Yes, so you see that when we're sewing the dress. So for the length, I'm going to be measuring this 1 yard and 30 inches. That's what we're using for the length. You can go more if you have more fabric, but I don't have more fabric. I told you I just had 2.5, 2.5 yard earlier. You can make it up to 2.5 inches for this strap. You can make it more than that. Depends on how you like it. I have 2 of these pieces which I'm going to be pleating at the upper area of this dress. We're pleating it to the waistband. If you have watched up to this point and you're yet to subscribe to my channel, please go and subscribe to this channel. We'll move to the sewing part. Now for the sewing part of this tutorial, yes, for this dress, I'm just going to be folding these edges straight down. I'll fold this side and I'll fold the other side of the fabric too. If you have enough fabric, you can use your fabric to turn this over, but I don't have enough fabric as I've said it earlier. But you can't use a lining to turn this out because it's going to be very visible when you're wearing it. So I'll just go ahead and fold the sides for the 2 pieces. Now for the waistband, I went ahead to iron interfacing on one of the waistband pieces, which will be at the front. But for the second one, I did not iron interfacing on it. I just left it like that. But you can iron interfacing on it if you choose to. But I just don't want it like that. So I'll go ahead to notch the middle part of this waistband. I'll just fold it into 2. Get the mid part. Then fold it up to get the mid part of the other side of one piece too. Yes, so I'll just notch that middle part like so. Then I'll do the same thing for the second piece too, just to get the mid point of the pieces of the fabric for the waistband. After doing that, I'll go ahead to notch my bust pan line. Now bringing in those pieces I cut out earlier, I've gone ahead to stitch the sides for the 2 sides and iron them out. I folded them and folded the hem of one side of the hem, and I left one side that I'm going to be attaching to the waistband. I did the same thing for the both pieces. So this is the waistband piece I added interfacing to. This is the midpoint. So I'm just going to be pinning this right side facing each other, side facing right side. I'm going to be pinning it from the waistband. Maybe I'll just go in by 1/2 inch to start pinning. From the middle point, I'll go to the other side 1/2 inch just to cover the cleavage a little bit. Now you can see me just going ahead to pin all the sides. If you check the middle, you find out that I pleated it at the middle. Here is me checking if it's equal on both sides. That's if the straps are equal, which by the way it is equal. They ended at the same point. Here I finished pinning this part together. You can see I've pinned the strap to the waistband. Then I'll be introducing the second piece of the waistband, the one I did not add interface into. I'll be matching the middle part I notched to the middle part of the other waistband piece I notched earlier. So I'll match them together and just cover it up and stitch it all the way around. That way you see that the pleated strap is in the middle of the 2 waistband, so it will be neatly finished when you do it like that. Now go ahead and start pinning this all around also. So be careful while sewing. When you finish sewing, you make sure you take out all of the pins. I've gone ahead to pin everything down. So the next thing, when you want to stitch, you start from this end, you stitch close that other end. When you stitch that place close, then you run a straight stitch across the waistband, then you stitch the other side close too, just like so. And I'll go ahead and do that and I'll show that to you. Now I finished stitching it out. I'm just going to be notching the edges so that I can turn that out and it will give me a pointed end, just like so. I'll notch the edge of the other side too, then I'll just give it little notches so that it will be relaxed when I turn it over, just like that. Just notch it at different positions. When I'm done, then I'll turn it over. Now I'm going to be turning it over to the right side. I'm trying to turn it over, pointing this. I'll just use my scissors or any other object to push out that edge so that it will come out properly. I'll be turning it, then I'll come to the other side and turn the other side also. After turning the other side, then I'll just give it a good press so that it relaxes very well. With this, I'm done with the upper part of this dress. I'll go to the lower part now. Now this is the skirt for the lower part of the dress we cut. I'll just go ahead and stitch the bottom part close, but first I'll leave some inches, like 8 to 9 inches, for the zipper allowance. That is where the zip will stay. Then I'll stitch the other place down. Yes, I'm going to be opening it up first. I'm not going to be stitching it with the other flare. I'll open it up and just stitch this end, two pieces together. All right, so I've gone ahead to do that. I stitched that close, and I went ahead to also fix the zipper at the upper part of the dress. I'm just going to be turning this out for you to have a very good look at it. I've gone ahead to, I turned it out, and this is what it looks like. I'll go ahead and give it a good press, take that label out, iron it, and bring it back. So for the upper part, I've ironed the waist band. I went ahead to fold out about half an inch in for the two pieces of the waistband and ironed it out flat. Now for the skirt part, after ironing it, I went ahead to fixing lining just inside of it. I just cut out a straight piece and folded it inside of the lining, inside of the flesh. Sorry, you can decide not to use lining for yours, it's optional actually. I just decided to. Now I'm going to be picking the middle of the flare and matching it up with the middle of the waistband piece. That middle we notched earlier. That's why we notched the upper part and the lower part. I'm going to be matching the middle part of the flare to the middle part of that waistband. Then I'm going to be pinning it all around, just like so. I'm making the right side of the waist of the flare, the right side of the flare, to face the right side of the waistband, because I'm going to be top stitching on it. So I'll go ahead to pin it all around, then I'll run a stitch around it. Alright, so I've gone ahead to stitch the waistband on the flare. If you can see it, I don't know if you can see it. I've gone ahead to stitch it all around, straight up. And I also went ahead to fold the hem, to just hem the flare around. And this is what it looks like. All that is left now is for me to add the hook I'm going to be using to fasten this skirt at the back. I'll just be using my hand needle and thread to fix this in. I'll be fixing the smaller part like this, and I'll go ahead and fix the other side on the other part of the skirt, then so that I'll be able to hook it. Alright, I've come to the end of this video. This is what the dress looks like. It's so pretty and simple at the same time. I had to rock it with my turtleneck so that to avoid exposing my body. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you.